Hello everyone, again, this is Adrian Gordon, software consultant and founder of AG Software Solutions. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of ChatGPT by now. Well, their creators, a company called OpenAI, has actually released a feature around a month ago called GPTs. Now, GPTs are actually a means through which us as users can create our own miniature version of ChatGPT for personal use. Now, I've been using this quite extensively for my own purposes, of course, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own GPT in 3 very simple steps. So, you will notice that we're on GPT-4, right? GPT-4 is only available to people who actually pay. The free version of ChatGPT, otherwise known as GPT 3.5, if you only have access to GPT 3.5, the free version, if you don't have this little toggle up here, basically, you cannot use the feature that I'm about to show you. Alright? So if you're interested, you're going to need to upgrade. Now on the left, you'll notice that we have this option here called Explore. Some of you may have seen this before, maybe you ignored it, maybe you clicked it, but if you're watching this video, chances are you were not quite sure as to what it was about. You probably would come here and immediately start typing your query or your question to ChatGPT. So we are actually going to explore the Explore section. Okay, so let's explain this. So you'll notice up here we have my GPT. You actually see I have one here, Patois Translator, and I'm going to essentially recreate this for you guys and extend upon the functionality that already exists within the translator. Alright, so that's what we'll be creating today. We're going to create a GPT that's able to understand English, translate it into Jamaican Patois, and actually respond to our questions in Patois. So let's get started. So when you click that, we're now taken to a page in which we can create our GPT. Alright? There are actually 2 tabs. There's the Create tab, and this is where we'll be doing most of our work, and the Configure tab. I'm going to get into more detail as to what this is and the feature that it enables us to do a little bit later. But for now, let's go over here. So how you create a GPT is essentially by prompting it. Just like how your user, it's in a similar way to how you would ask ChatGPT questions and you kind of nudge it in the direction that you want it to go. That's actually how you create a GPT. So I am going to now prompt the GPT builder to build the GPT that we want. And instead of actually typing it right here, I'm going to copy and paste the prompts from somewhere else because I don't want to make any typos or spelling errors during this tutorial. Alright, well let's start. So I would like to make a GPT that is able to translate any question it is asked into Jamaican Patois using the following online dictionary as reference. And right here you see I've actually linked to an online resource which is essentially a dictionary of English to Patois translation. Okay, so you see how specific I'm here. You see how specific I've been. I've clearly stated exactly what I want it to do at the outset. So this is where you give the builder a general idea of what your goal is with the GPT. Okay, so let's see, processing updated. That's a little clank from my tea that I'm drinking. Alright, so unsurprisingly it wants to call it Patois Translator. And I'm just going to run with that for now, because that's not really the point of what I'm showing you. But, okay, so I'm just going to say yes. I'm just going to continue to configure our little agent. Going to create, right now it's creating the profile picture for us. So let's see what it comes with. Let's see if we'll accept it. Let's see if it likes us. Alright, so it has a pseudo Jamaican-ish looking image. I mean, we can run with that. Yeah, let's just accept it. Alright. So now let's fine tune GPT's behavior. What are the specific goals or tasks it should focus on achieving? So I'm just gonna say that I want this GPT to focus on being as accurate as possible with its responses. We're not really trying to achieve any specific task outside of what we've already prompted, which is to translate from English to Jamaican Patois. Alright, so I just prompt it again to focus on accuracy. And what I find very interesting is that sometimes it asks you different questions. That's not what it asked me the last time. What should the GPT avoid doing or saying? I'm going to say nothing. I want it to answer anything. I want it to be able to answer anything, essentially. How would you like the GPT to interact with you? Should it have specific tone or style? No. This is a lot more question than last time, guys. Okay, so here we are. Now that the GPT is set up, go ahead and try it out in the playground to do right. If you have any requirements or changes you'd like to make, let me know. And yes, we do have a change, but for now, let's try this out. So it is supposed to translate English into Patois. That's what we said at the outset. So let us see if that works. So let's use the stereotypical my first Patois phrase. What is going on? And we know what it should respond and say. Doing some research or resource that we provided. Wow, this is interesting, guys. So it did respond, but instead of simply responding with the translation, it wrote out this whole thing. So this didn't happen last time, but this is an opportunity to learn as we go. I'm going to tell the creator, the GPT creator, what the issue is with how the GPT is behaving, and let's see if it changes its behavior. And what we want is for it to simply respond, wow, go on. We don't want it to tell us all this crap about it did a quick search and blah blah blah. And this is very interesting. I'm curious myself to see what happens. I would like the GPT to simply respond with the translation. I only want the response. So I'm basically trying to say that I do not want all this other crap about it doing a quick search and blah blah blah, just the response. So let's see if this works. I'm really curious. So it's updating the configuration for our GPT agent, and I'm going to try again and let's see what happens. Patois translation will now simply respond with translation. Feel free to test it, blah blah blah. Let's see what is going on. There we are. So now we've encountered an issue live, first time ever. I didn't expect this, as I said. Reconfigured our GPT by simply prompting, and we've gotten the behavior that we want. Now, I'm going to update the GPT further, because what I want to do is actually ask it the question, any question, and have it respond in Patois or any statement. I don't want it to simply translate now. I want it to understand what I'm asking and simply respond in Patois. So let's go. I'm going to copy and paste this other prompt so that so that I do not make any mistakes. Alright, so I'm saying this is very good. I'd like to update the Patois translator as followed. Instead of translating the prompts to Patois, I want to instead answer the question that is being answered in Patois. Alright? Clear instructions. A human would understand this. Let's see if the GPT builder can understand that. Okay, so it claims to understand it. The Patois translator has been updated to answer a question in Patois instead of just translating the prompt, blah, 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 blah. So let's actually ask a question in English and let's see if it's able to respond in Patois. This is interesting, guys. Oh my God. So let's say, what is the largest parish This is why I like to copy and paste. Parish in Jamaica. Alright, let's see if it actually responds in Patois. And it actually works, guys. The largest part in Jamaica, blah blah blah, da 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 da, looks Patois-ish enough. Okay, it well known for blah 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 blah. Okay, so it works, and this is actually how you go about configuring the GPT. I just wanted to show you guys that. So when you're done, you can simply click save, and it will save your GPT to that little library. For a little library, and you'll be able to access it in the future. But before I do that, I just want to come over here and show you guys the configure tab. So the name it came up with was Patois Translator, but that's no longer a good description of what we're doing here. So I'm just going to update it. Patois, let's call it Patois bot. So you can either translate or respond. It's essentially the same thing as ChatGPT, but in a patois, you understand? So, and I could actually go through and change all of these to match, but this is just a tutorial, so I won't be doing that. Essentially, I wanted to show you what the configure section is about. It allows you to change various aspects of the bot that you've created. You can change the image if you want. You can actually upload files. All right, guys, you can upload files to help improve the bot, as in information outside of what is on the internet. All right, we can also configure specific capabilities right here. So right now we have on web browsing and DALL-E image generation. For those of you who don't know what DALL-E is, it's an image generator, as the name implies. There's also a code interpreter, which we do not need for this application. And here is another section that is very interesting, the actions section. So essentially, it allows us to configure as an actions that we want our GPT to take. So for example, we can say name our action, let's say check Patois dictionary before response. Instead of me manually telling it while configuring, I could have created an action that allows it to do that. Check the dictionary, then can enter some other configuration here, and I guess it's a section for privacy policy, which I don't really care about that. But essentially, this allows it to instruct the GPT to do various things before responding to the user. So it's actually quite interesting, and I'm looking forward to playing around with this in the future. Alright guys, anyway, so that's it. I'm going to save only for me. Then maybe you guys want to use it. I'll save it for everyone. Patois Bot by Adrian Gordon, and that's that. So if anyone is interested in actually using this bot, I'll share it with you, and you can install it. Okay, and use it in your ChatGPT if you want. Okay, so just send me a message and I'll send it to you, or maybe I'll include it, if possible. I may include it in the description section for anyone that wants to use it. We'll see. Anyway guys, that's the end of this tutorial.